everybody, Larry back with you again, and I'm here with my friend Richard, and as I mentioned to you in the previous video, we're going to be milling out some cedar 4x4s. You're going to make a fence?
Right, yes.
And
I'm making a fence.
You cut these off of your property?
Right.
Or it fell?
It fell, then we cut it up.
Oh, okay. So we got about 4 cedar logs, different sizes, and so we're going to be milling those out to a couple of 4x4s and then try to get as many planks out of it as we can. And we also got some hardwood up there. You think it's hickory?
Hickory.
Yeah. What you gonna do with that?
It fell too. I'm gonna make a fence out of it, gate.
Okay. So thank you for joining us here on St. Nick's Farm today. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with a friend and subscribe to the channel. So let's get started. We fairly quickly ran into a huge nest of carpenter ants in one of the best logs of cedar that we had, and one that Richard really wanted to make his 4x4 post out of. We took some wasp and hornet spray and tried to spray the ants with it, and it seemed to do a fairly good job, but they were very resilient. And even after spraying with wasp and hornet spray, which usually when you use on wasp, it immediately knocks them down, but these ants continued to stir even after we sprayed them with the wasp and hornet spray. And some of these things were large. In fact, I thought that maybe we had found some of the queens or a queen, but then as it turned out, there were several of these that were the large size ant with wings. And so not really knowing the nature of a nest of carpenter ants, I didn't know if they have multiple queens in the nest or just what might be the case. So if you have a comment on this, I'd appreciate if you'd leave it down below and give us what you know about carpenter ants. At this point, Richard took over the milling process. As far as I know, this was his first time to operate a sawmill, and he pretty much did most of the milling for the rest of the day, and I just kind of supervised. But he did a great job and caught on real quick to the process and what to do and when to shut off and everything regarding milling his lumber. from the cedar that Richard was sawing, he transitioned over and started sawing the hardwood. We had originally thought that this was some hickory, but after smelling the wood as we were sawing it and kind of examining the bark again and looking at the texture of the wood itself, the color of it, the coloration and everything, we pretty much determined that this was an oak, and probably a white oak. I have heard that either white oak isn't white or red oak isn't red, one of the two, but anyway, this log here was basically whitish color, cream color on the inside. I had a still photo at the beginning of this video, and this tree, this log that is, obviously grew out from a tree that had either been blown over or cut down or something. It was a very unusual shaped log, and actually in examining it, noticed that on the butt end of it, that the center of the tree was just a little over a couple of inches off of one side, and then the growth rings on the opposite side of that were very, very widespread apart. Very unusual growth to the tree. Produced a little bit of a difficult job in sawing. Richard is strapping up the slabs, going to take it back to their campsite, burn for their firewood. He asked me if I thought the load would weigh more going back than it did coming down here. And I guess that's just a question that'll be left to the math scholars out there to figure out. But I told him that I thought it would weigh just about the same as when he brought it down here. Well, Richard brought over a couple of logs, he brought over several, and this is what we ended up with. Now, what he's done is he's taken his slabs back with him so they can burn them at their campsite. And then underneath all of this, you can see we've got the lumber. And we were able to get several 1x6s, several 1x4s, a couple of 4x4s out of the red cedar, and then we were able to cut up some 1x6s and some 2x4s out of the hardwood lumber, and turned out to be a pretty good yield of lumber. Richard and Candy are getting ready to head back over to north central Alabama. Well, there you have it, folks. I appreciate you joining us here today on St. Nick's Farms. We got all the logs, the hardwood, and the cedar that Richard brought over. Got it all milled like he wanted it, and they're on their way back to their home. And we really did enjoy the visit with them. Had dinner with them last night, and then it was an all-day work day today. But we got a lot accomplished and had a good time doing it. So again, thank you so much for joining us here on the channel. I really do appreciate it. As I said earlier, be sure if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. So until next time, folks, this is Larry. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.